You ever get the feeling that your friends belong in a mental hospital? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to High Tea, the show where I, your king, will sit down with you guys, my loyal subjects, and talk about a multitude of topics and yap for the foreseeable future. So sit down, have a beverage, because it's time for High Tea. And today's order of business is my friends are all nutcases. Now, for today's episode of High Tea, I'm talking about 4 individuals in particular. I will be talking about my friends Man, J2, Gold, and P. Now, I need to preface this by saying I love all of my friends. I still talk to all of those 4 to this day. And they might see this. So to all of my friends, you 4 that see this, I'm sorry. I love you. I don't actually care. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to talk about it because it's funny, right? Starting off with number 1, Man. Man, I met in the 8th grade, right? I was in middle school, just about to enter high school, but the way that my school was set up, we went to like an intermediate school, and this is where I found Man. Now, I found Man in a little program called JROTC. For those of you that don't know, it stands for Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. It's pretty much this program that also counts as a gym class, at least where I'm from, that allows you to sort of pseudo be aware and know what it's like to be in the armed forces. I mean, like we did PT, like they would in the military. For this instance, it was the Marine Corps. We had rank structure, and we did drills, and we had uniform days and inspections, kind of like the military, right? But it was a class. And this is where I found this absolute animal of a man. Now, when I originally came across him, I thought, hey, this is a cool guy, you know, someone to get along with. Boy, was I wrong. This man, for some reason, decided, hey, me and you, we're going to be rivals. Now, every week, the first sergeant would elect a kind of, there was a term for it, I forget now, but pretty much like a class leader for like the week, and that class guide, that's what it was guide. So for the week, this guide was able to determine what we were doing on each day when it comes to PT. Now, they didn't dictate class time. That was reserved for the actual Marines that were teaching this class, which were the first sergeant and the gunnery sergeant. The guide was responsible for helping take attendance and dictating what we did for PT. Every single time, this guy, for some stupid reason, chose 2 things for PT: dodgeball and rifle drills. Now, here's the thing. The rifle drills weren't that bad. What was bad about it was the fact that he chose it every single time without fail. So we knew for a fact if Man was the one guiding the class for the week, pack it all up, we're all doing rifles for the week. But that's not all. He ruled that classroom with an iron fist, on top of being an absolute smoochie. This boy was a lover boy. If you had 2 legs and a pair of boobs, best believe he was coming for you. Anyways, he was really funny and super down to earth, this guy. I love him to death. That's my guy. Till one day in particular. One day, I'm coming out of a classroom. I'm in between classes at the time. He looks at me. He's like, hey, you want to be a part of this? Now, me knowing what he does in his free time, I'm like, I'm a civilian. I'm a good Christian boy. I'm baptized. No. He said, oh, no, we're just doing this this YouTube challenge. I'm like, YouTube challenge? Really? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right. What's the challenge? We're going to slam up against some lockers, record it, and then go home. Yeah. Did I do it? Yeah, hell yeah. That's my guy, obviously. Like, who in his normal mind decides to be a dictator in the classroom and then just goes to decide to slam up against some... The video's still out there somewhere. I don't know who has it or if he has it, but it's out there somewhere on a random Facebook page because obviously that's what we did for attention back then. This was at like the height of, I don't even know what, Vine maybe? We tried to go Vine famous or whatever it was, but yeah, obviously not a good idea. Because I remember I went home and my ribs hurt afterwards. But yeah, as of now, Man is now an accomplished EMT. He's off providing medical assistance to those in need. So shout out to you, man. Much love, my brother. And he's a father now, a father to a beautiful baby girl, and I love her to death, and she's the most adorable thing on this planet. Now, moving on to my second friend, J2. Now, I met J2 through Man, and I was not aware of the fact of what was in store for me when I met this man. He is the blackest white guy I've ever met. So, I met him through Man, of course. Man hits me up. He's like, hey, man, what you doing? I said, ain't shit. Hop on some Fortnite. I said, okay, cool. I'll hop on Fortnite. He's like, I'm playing with my homie. Do you mind? I said, no, of course not. That's your homie. Your homies is my homies. All is good, you know? Feel me? As long as he ain't racist, we're going to be all right. He was like, all right, bet. So I hop in, right? I joined the lobby. You know, I'm like, hey, what's up? And all I hear is, yo, what it do, my guy? I look around like, who is this 6'3", 245-pound black man with 2 Glocks? And he goes, oh, that's my man's J2. Say, what's up, J2? J2 goes, yo, in the deepest and most smoothest voice. I'm like, J2, you black? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, we got a brother in the building. Okay. Boy, was I wrong. They've bamboozled me for like a following 2 weeks of the fact that this man was black. I could have sworn up and down because I've never seen this man's face. Then I got his phone number. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yo, whenever you want to play, hit me up. Because man's schedule is kind of all over the place. So I'm like, I bet. So one day, I FaceTime him. Why is this 5'8" white guy, blue eyes, blonde hair, staring at me in the face? But it's not just that. This man had a gallon of sweet tea in one hand and a blunt in another one. And he's drinking the sweet tea out the gallon. Who does that? Like, you have to understand how black that is. Can't have shit no more in this house. Anyways, I look at him, I'm like, you're white? He's like, sure am. I'm like, you're smoking a backwoods. He's like, yeah. And you're drinking sweet tea. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, hop on Fortnite. So I'm like, yeah, all right, bet. And this goes on for a long time of me thinking that, like, I could have sworn he was mixed. On God, I thought the boy was mixed. But, like, if you were to look at him, you would think that's a black man in a white man's body. Because when I met him in person for the first time, boy's black as shit. He walked black. He talked black. He damn near me. And then the worst part about it is I want to be him because he's so cool. He's so smooth. He got this swagger about him. He's like, just like, yo. And then he proceeds to be talented in video games as if he already isn't the coolest on the block. I hate him so much. J2, if you're watching this, fuck yourself. You smooth bastard. And he just be living life. And he's in the trades. I'm not going to say his specific trade because that's private. But he is a tradesman. So, like, he's making good money. He has a good relationship. He has a house. And he's super young. But I can't help the fact that this man is black even though he's white. It doesn't make any sense. Every time he calls me, he does 2 things. I answer. He says, what up, pimp? He's like, hop on the game. I hop on the game. He's rolling a blunt. There has not been a time where I've called him and he's not rolling up a fat one. I love that man. All right, moving on to friend number 3. Friend number 3 is Gold. Obviously, Gold is not her real name. And this is the only homegirl on this list because she's arguably the craziest one. I like to live vicariously through my friends. I met Gold in high school as a sophomore in a class full of seniors that were retaking geometry. So she's a little bit slow, right? At the time, she was pregnant with her first and only kid. Beautiful kid. Not going to say the gender because I respect her privacy. So, Gold went through this whole pregnancy by herself with her family as her support system. She's a great mother, and I respect and adore her much, much, much deeply because of what she can do. On top of that, she gotta be one of the craziest bitches I know. Oh God. She loves toxicity, and I love living vicariously through my friends. So every time that she calls me, I have to sit down, get 2 cigarettes, a black and mild, and probably some tea, because every time she calls me, it's something a little bit concerning. So I remember the one time she called me, she's like, "Hey, I'm messing with this one guy. He cheated on me, so I pulled up to where he was, slashed his tires, and sent a video of it to him." Yeah, so completely sober when she did it. Completely sober. Another time she went out drink. She loves drinking, by the way. She's an alcoholic. She really needs to get help. Don't ask what's in my cup. Mind your business. So she loves drinking. So much so that the one time she went out drinking, she stayed out late last night, met a group of girls in the bathroom, as girls do, because apparently y'all just switching peas off in the bathroom. Records a video with her and like 3 other girls and just decides to flash the camera and posted it. She removed it, but she posted it. And she was like, "Bitch, I flashed people on Snapchat." I'm like, "Girl, you don't look that good in order for you to be flashing people." But it gets worse. She somehow found herself a sugar daddy that's younger than her. Some guy at her job came up to her. She was like, "Yo, I'm feeling you." And she was like, "I'll ruin your life." And he was like, "Bet that." And she goes, "No." And he was like, "Please." And she said, "Run me 300. He gave it to her. Like that, like it's nothing. I'm like, "Girl, you're too busted and you don't look that good enough for you to be out here having a sugar daddy. Help me." Because she loves toxic shit. She like getting her booty ate. She like getting her booty ate. She like she like the most disgusting. She's a freak. She's just a freak of league. And then turns around and becomes a good mom to her kid. Like, she be out throwing booty. Not that she has much to begin with. She be out throwing booty, and then she just goes and, "Hey, I'm gonna take my kid on a field trip and chaperone her shit." How does that make sense? It don't make that much sense. And then she wants to go and be like, "Oh, I burned my ex's clothes on fire. My ex had a whole kid on me. I cheated on my man. My man cheated on me." Saying this, that, and the third is nuts. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up for my friend Gold. She just needs help. Like, bad. And last but not least, we have my boy P. Now, P, I met the most recently out of this group of 4 people, but I still love him like he was my brother. I met P at one of my last jobs where I eventually became his boss, and let me tell you, he was the type of person that you would hate to work with but would love to hang out with, because he is a reformed crash out. Now, every day when I came into work, he would tell me a new story about how his girl was pissing him off, but that he loved her. It didn't make no sense. And on top of that, he was good and terrible at his job. He was good because I eventually became his boss. I forgot to mention that. So, he was good at his job because anything that I told him to do, he would do it. But he was terrible at it because sometimes he would just fuck it up completely. Now, here's a story. One day, there's a big snowstorm happening at this job of mine, right? And in this job, we were working in a fridge, and the storm had knocked out power to this fridge. He didn't want to come into work because obviously there's snow on the ground, and obviously no one's going to come shopping. So I told him, because I was there, "Yo, pull up to the store, come chill with me. It is what it is. Ball out," right? So he's like, "Eat my sack." And I'm like, "Eat my sack." He's like, "All right, bet I'm going to pull up." I said, "Bet." 15 minutes later, he pulls up to the store. He's like, "Yo, what's going on?" I explained to him the situation. So we go and chill in the box. The box is what we call the fridge. As we're chilling, we're in this deep little corner, and we're just kicking it. And just literally just sleeping on carts because there's nothing to do. The department looks great. Everything is up to speed. Like, we're looking fabulous, right? Then afterwards, we're walking, and he wanted to get on the forklift. So I said, "I bet, get on the forklift," because he wanted to practice, maybe get his license for it. So he gets on the forklift. He's carrying this tall pallet of, I forget what it was, but he was carrying a super tall pallet. He hits a corner like he's doing a dash in a stoley, and out goes everything on the pallet. Like, he was notorious for breaking shit. He broke cabbage pallets, lettuce pallets, broccoli, anything and everything. And it was super funny because every time that he did, he got really, really upset about it. And I laughed at him, but the joke's on me because stuff fell on me too. But the real fun happened after we left work. So we both have since stopped working at that store, but we are still homies to this day. I can call him right now. I can guarantee you right now, if I call him, he's gonna say one of two things. He's gonna say, "What's up, little dick?" or "Stuff tragic, new paddock. This stuff go automatic." Watch. Yo, I got a question for you.
The question.
What's the phrase that you say every time I answer the phone?
We switch it up a lot, man.
Well, you say you. Well,
That's one of them.
uh-huh.
And then I want like strike the paddock. You know that shit go automatic.
Yep. Okay. Yep. That's it. All right. Thank you.
And then there's another one. Man, I was just bought the paddock.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I'm gonna holler at you in a second. All right. But yeah, that goes to show the type of guy that P is. I love P to death, right? I talk to P more than I talk to my shorty. He will call me every day, check up on me. He gets upset when I don't spend time with him, and I take him out on dates. Like, that's really my guy. I love that man to death, but damn, he's crazy. Like, if I don't call him, he'll get upset. If I don't link up with him, he gets upset. But I wouldn't change it for the world. He is the most calm, insane person I've ever met. He kind of reminds me of, like, if Crazy Steve from Drake and Josh took his meds. But I love him to death. So that pretty much covers all four of my friends and how insane that they are. And that pretty much is going to do it for this episode of High Tea. With that being said, I have been your king. This has been High Tea. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, I need to know if you guys have a couple of openings for mental asylum patients. Yeah, I got 4 Neanderthals that need help quick.